This isn't rock and roll, this is...
Vanity project.
It's a chart topper.
Vanity.
Midlife crisis.
Midlife crisis.
Not midlife crisis. Midlife clarity.
They're arrogant.
Nice if you like.
Midlife clarity.
Menopause.
Oh, menopause?
Is it a vanity project?
I'm losing my edge.
It's a vanity project.
I stared into the abyss.
I'm losing my edge.
A cash grab vanity project.
That little vanity project.
It's tremendous. I love it.
It's just a vanity project.
Russell Colossal.
Helen, how the hell are you?
I am full of class struggle. And do you want to know why?
Sure, I'd love to hear why you're full of class struggle.
Well, apart from being appointed as the celebratory steering committee for the Marxist revolution that will one day take international hold,
Yes, apart from that.
I've been having decaf coffee. And I find that not only the lack of osteoporosis, because caffeine is said to elevate osteoporosis or something. I don't know the technical words for that. I'm just a woman. I'm just a revolutionary Marxist girl.
At the Vanguard.
And I've been having low caffeine coffee or no caffeine coffee by a little company in Melbourne we like to call Do Coffee Roasters or Do Coffee Roasters or Do Coffee Roasters. Do Coffee Roasters.
And how has it been?
Do coffee. Well, this proletarian pour over. Get some dialectic in your demitasse. Their beans,
Yes.
they undergo a sugarcane decaf. Do you like that? Look, this is our very first live read, and I've gone with a Marxist theme.
It's going well.
And upon reflection, I don't know whether class struggle is the right theme for advertising. I may have made an error.
Oh, no, I would keep going with it.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
It's a good coffee. Anyway, one sip and you're communing with a tropical fruit basket licked by a high school boyfriend. It's sweet. It's a little bit hormonal. And it's only slightly apologetic after affording you a brutal but lovely jolt to the soft palate. I haven't finished yet, by the way.
Oh, good.
We have a sponsor.
We do have a sponsor. Do Coffee Roasters.
Do Coffee Roasters. Mm-hmm. Find them on Instagram.
Yes, at docoffee.com.au.
But they're on a mission to make decaf the star, not the bit player. Mm-hmm. You know, not the Trotsky, but the Lenin.
Not something to be airbrushed out of a photograph.
And not something to be ice-picked to death.
No.
And not something to obfuscate its reputation as actually quite a savage military, bloodthirsty genius. Trotsky killed a lot of people. But Do Coffee Roasters never killed a soul. This is coffee that overthrows fatigue without caffeine, but also the bourgeoisie.
I think that's a fantastic read for our sponsor. Have you had some?
Go to docoffee.com.au, comrade. Join the brewvolution. Drink a cup so pure, so fruity, so scandalously good, it may be cited when we hang the last priest with the guts of the last bureaucrat. Do Coffee Roasters. docoffee.com.au. It's the only place that it's available. No, but it really did taste nice.
It's absolutely delicious. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's good. I can fool myself that it's full of caffeine. It gives you the simulacrum of a jolt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
there's a kind of a. It seems to me that there's a very marginal change to the bean.
Yeah, look, it just doesn't taste like a cup of regret, which is what the vast majority of decaf or simulacra do.
Yeah,
right?
No, I don't automatically think of a Slavoj Žižek lecture on the desert of the real, you know?
No.
We should tell Do Coffee Roasters this.
Yes, we will. I will talk to our sponsor when I next see them.
If you would like to sponsor us, you know who I think we should get?
Whom?
Quest Executive Suites and Apartments. Anywhere that high school boyfriend and I meet up in the twin towns of Albury Wodonga, we are the Liz Taylor and Dickie Burton of that. I'm going to shut up now. Sorry, I haven't talked to anybody for like 3 fucking weeks.
It's been a while.
Because I've been in ill health. And it's high time to get Ross's advice because he is a qualified medical doctor in no way whatsoever. Take it away, Bitsy.
They're lifting weights between visits to doctors. Shit wellness books and hot stones engulf them. Multiple Fitbits are strapped to their skin. And they've also got a podcast.
Welcome to Fit and Trim. Why are you looking so good, bitch?
I haven't been doing anything in particular. I've just been looking after myself, doing a little bit of travel and staying in the sun. It's been quite nice. Haven't done enough exercise. You would have noticed that I don't think I've closed the ring in quite some time, so to speak. But no, nothing in particular.
Yeah.
I've just been doing that clean living.
Not that there was ever really any paunch evident, but you look like you've lost a little bit of weight, unlike myself, who has basically become an inclusive sizing lady.
An inclusive sizing lady.
Oh, yeah, everybody offers inclusive sizing now.
So what, tell me.
It's not called curve anymore, it's called inclusive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what sizes are inclusive sizes?
I don't know actually.
But it's just above it's above whatever you want to be.
Yeah, it's to reflect the burgeoning middle class obesity. No, that's true. Like, you hear, there's an interesting thing that ladies say about buying clothes, which is that I can't get a dress in my size. And if the average size of a lady in Australia, which I imagine is the case, is a size 14, and that would be an American size 10, you know.
Yep, something like that.
Well, it is actually because the typical sizing is 8 to 12, but not the average. And I think that's a nice lesson in not using averages.
There's a book called Invisible Women or The Invisible Woman.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is it in your Feminist Library wing?
It's in here somewhere, which is basically about how women's sizes have generally not been incorporated into averages over capitalism, so that when we think of what size things are, women generally haven't been incorporated into those averages and measurements.
Really?
Really.
From what I've learned, and I interviewed somebody who was PhD candidate, maybe they were all wrong, that actually the largest group of women are round about size 8 to size 12.
Sure, that would make sense.
Whereas the larger ladies form a smaller population group, even though the average might end up being,
skewed.
Yeah. Just like, the Gini coefficient, just like measures of the GDP. You can have a very, very high, in fact, world-beating GDP, but a really shit standard of living.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I might be being dull, which is most unlike me. Do coffee, roasters. Do coffee.com.au.
So you've been unwell for the past little bit of time because, you've been unwell, which is why we didn't have an episode last week.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm all right.
Yeah? Anything in particular about this particular malaise?
Yeah. Well, it becomes indivisible from depression.
Just the not wanting to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Everything sucks.
Yeah.
Part of it.
I can't move.
Yep.
I'm anhedonic.
Yep.
That is, I can experience no pleasure apart from grubby phone sex with high school boyfriend.
So you were still able to do that?
Yes.
Okay, so you weren't that sick.
No, I wasn't that sick. But there's some crazy wacko zoonoses go around. Who do you think we should blame for this one? Because Erin, your wife's got one.
Yeah, that's a good question because I wasn't around, so I wasn't able to spread anything as far as I can tell. Let's blame public transport for this one.
No.
Okay.
I refuse. So what Ross has been doing, can I say that you're an international jet setter?
I have been travelling abroad a little for work, yes.
He's been consulting.
I have been doing some consulting.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, so consulting's kind of a catch-all term. Consulting is freelancing for people who don't actually produce anything.
So you've come off the flights really well.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's nice of you to notice. I feel pretty good.
I did a little bit of looking into frequent flyers. Flying frequently, of course, as we've all heard, has been, there's all sorts of, for people in our sophisticated age range and
Yes.
population group, well, you should be wearing the compression socks.
Oh, I didn't wear compression socks.
Oh, you're at the age where you might want to wear compression socks. Is that a true thing? I don't know. I didn't bother to look that up.
I don't know. This is kind of one of those things that we could put in things that should be true.
Our upcoming segment, things that should be true. But I don't know, just wear some compression socks.
I've got some incredible compression socks.
I bet you do.
Yeah, and they make you wear them in hospital too. They make you wear the compression socks in hospital, and if you're lying down in a hospital bed for long enough, they put you in a little machine that shakes your legs so that you don't die of blood clots. I think that's very
that's
nice.
lovely.
So they should do that
I'd
on
like one
planes.
of those at home, in
It
fact.
would be amazing.
Because who wants deep venous thrombosis? Not I.
No.
You hear all the regular things, of course. After COVID, there are a few airlines that now try different boarding practices, none of which seem to make any kind of logical sense. But that's at the point where there's deplaning and boarding are the points where there's... So there's all sorts of threats, but guess what? It can be bad for your mood.
Oh, it can definitely be bad for your mood. Traveling, all the getting to the other destination and not being acclimated correctly or set up for the correct time will definitely ruin you. And it will ruin you for a long time.
Well, there's some information. Oh, I did also find out about melatonin. You know how every bastard tells you to try melatonin?
Yeah.
Have you tried melatonin?
Of course I've tried it.
Yeah.
No, it's nonsense. I mean, people...
I did look into a meta-analysis of it, and over time, over
Yeah.
large population groups, it does work temporarily to get your circadian rhythms back in check, but not on the reg.
Not on the... Oh, okay. So if you do it enough, it gives you a statistically valid deviation, but not enough to actually fix you up.
Yeah. Oh, well, you just sort of take it like a system shaker is
Yep.
what I inferred from an abstract of which I read about 10%.
So you read the précis of the abstract.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, I actually got the Chatty Gs. I
The
got
Chatty G to do it for
I got
you?
the Chatty Gs to do it for me. I'm still having arguments with them.
With the Chatty G.
The Chatty G.
So, but
So it's actually quite interesting. I mean, jet lag, as we refer to it in everyday parlance, I thought that it meant an accumulation of symptoms, and it probably still does because, it's an unpleasant environment.
yeah, I mean, generally for me, jet lag has been obviously feeling a little bit out of time, but a little bit skittish, a little bit moody, a little bit of depression, I guess. But part of that is always coming home too. It's like, oh, this sucks. Why am I here?
Studies like the flights and how they affect people afflicted or pre-diagnosed with different mood disorders. It was found in one study that flying westward resulted over time in more downward mood spirals, whereas flying eastward was more likely to engender a psychotic break or a hypomania. There you go.
Well, it depends. I mean, the destinations might have something to do with that. If you're flying westward, you're probably going to end up in London, which sucks. And if you're flying eastward, you might be going to Los Angeles, and you're definitely going to have some kind of break if you get to Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
I mean, the destinations may well have something to do with that.
Yeah. Well, as ever, we're scientifically informed. But, I mean, now actually in mental health studies, it appears that metabolic jet lag is something that people talk about. So it's the disruption to your circadian rhythms, which are apparently a thing. I thought it was just something that hippies talked about.
Yeah.
And it was an insect was involved.
But they're a real thing, are they?
Yeah, they're a real thing.
I've always thought that they were not. I always thought that they were something that, hippies told you about, or the first time I ever came across them was in a very early computer program that asked me what time I was born and what day, and it told me what kind of person I would be forever. Didn't work.
No.
I know nothing about circadian rhythms. I know the idea of them, but I'm not 100% sure about how they really interact with mood.
Yeah, it's just, well, we're a diurnal animal, wake in the daytime and sleep in the nighttime. Apparently that's the thing.
Oh.
Apparently one is supposed to do that. This is the general consensus.
Okay.
Sleeping during the night is good for one. This is the general medical consensus.
Okay. But are you, as I am, generally a polyphasic sleeper? You sleep a couple of times during the day?
I'm at least biphasal.
Yeah, which I think is it's a nice way to go about it. Like there are some parts of the day that you want to skip through. There are some parts of the night that you want to be awake for. I think that's natural.
Perhaps you in midlife are, like me, drawn to biographies of people much, much, much more interesting than myself. Buckminster Fuller. He's a laugh a minute. Old Bucky Fuller, the inventor of the geodesic dome.
Uh-huh.
And then a bit like Nikola Tesla, then a whole lot of weird shit that didn't make any fucking sense.
Like the movable city or the walking city?
Yeah.
One of them?
And he had this system called Dymaxion.
Yeah. The Dymaxion car is one of my favourite things.
But there's the Dymaxion sleep cycle as well. And I think it might have had quite a lot to do with his later work, which you can view in its entirety if you ever go to Stanford, because apparently he kept a meticulous audit, pre-digital audit of his life, like laundry tickets, everything. There's like 15 kilometres of paper that belonged to Buckminster Fuller, who felt obliged to document his life insofar as he could in a pre-digital age.
Why did he do that?
Because he practiced the Dymaxion sleep cycle, which was a multiphasal sleep cycle, half an hour, 4 times a day. I believe that Winston Churchill observed it, and he was a mad cunt.
Well, yeah. I mean, did Buckminster Fuller drink much?
I don't think with that lack of sleep you'd need to.
No, you probably wouldn't, but that also sounds like, that doesn't sound like the kind of sleep pattern that you would come to naturally. It sounds like the kind of sleep pattern you would come to if you were trying to keep yourself a little bit topped up.
Or, you were in the middle of the Blitz and you were trying to beat Jerry. You needed to be in the Situation Room.
Yeah, or the bathtub.
Yeah. You're listening to Vanity Project, and please feel not so much at your liberty, but indeed obliged to describe the latest tedious biography or details thereof, just as I have. Bore us all. We can all pretend to be interested. What the fuck is that? What is it? Why are we drawn to biography, historical biography at this age?
That is a really good question. I'm not. I think I told you a little while ago that I've gone off biographies, and I've certainly gone off autobiographies because I think that they're rude.
Yeah, look, I actually don't. I don't think it's a brilliant way of understanding. So you're more of a war or a large institution, large events history reading guy.
Generally, yeah. In fact, I definitely am. I'm more interested in the overarching movements more than the individuals. I don't subscribe to the great
man theory of history.
Not particularly.
It's okay. You can say the great man theory.
I can say the great man theory? Well,
yeah.
I don't subscribe to it.
Yeah, that's like the other names for it were like Whig history, WHIG, the idea that it is great men that make history.
No.
They do not make it as they please. They do not make it from self-selected circumstances, but circumstances already given.
That's right. There are political forces or social forces at play, and people just happen to be there at the right time, and it could very well be another person.
You're being very reasonable today.
It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, what the fuck? Happy Ross. I can't deal with him. So, if you do get down after a flight, and I know this is a very difficult thing to do, I mean, it's taken me years to recognise a foul mood. I mean, I'm still in the foul mood, but it's taken me years you can actually recognise those. Like, you're in a shit mood, bitch.
Yeah, and
you're gonna come out of it eventually.
Yeah, you can recognise it from the patterns, right? It's like, I'm doing this thing that I always do when I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Rather than recognising the mood, you can recognise the events.
Yeah, like I had an intrusive thought in the shower the other day, which is like I've been watching that MobLandia.
Which is excellent.
Yeah, it is, but it's fucking gory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, Gore's not good for me.
Oh,
I don't know. Like when I had a nervy break day. You remember my nervy break day? Yes. My first one. He came to visit me. He came to visit me in the hospital.
That's right. I'm a dear.
Yeah, you are. You're a dear. Yeah, I was having images of Gore.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a PowerPoint presentation of gory muck.
That's unpleasant.
Well, I mean, apparently everybody has these moments. Everybody has these moments of gore, of, suicidal flashes. I'll jump in front of the train. Oh, I see a gun. This is just part of the marvellous organ we call a mind or a brain sac. But, it's when they become intrusive, when they don't disappear, when you kind of hang on to them. Mm-hmm. That's not fun.
No.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
I absolutely know what you're talking about.
Normies, even normies have it. But
everyone
just for a second.
That's what I'm told. I've spoken to normies and they've said that they get them and they just kind of push them to one side. They don't.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know. What a dream.
Fuck you, Normie.
Yeah. But so getting back to travel or getting back to jet lag, like what do you or have you done in the past to deal with it or to plan for it?
When I've taken overseas journeys, back in the 90s, I wasn't broke and I got sent by the Warner Brothers musical company to Los Angeles. And I took a rowie and I insisted on it. And I felt no jet lag whatsoever, but also no memory of how I got from LAX to the Sunset Marquee. In front of Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots, who was about, and he was in a fairly similar state.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only time, because that's about the only time where jet lag would have afflicted me. So,
Yep.
I mean, you travel a lot for work.
Yeah, I have.
In the consulting industry.
Oh, and in the past when I've been in other lines of work as well,
Yeah,
I've travelled a bit.
Yeah. It's not required for me. I mean, I have, done a little bit on the cheap, but only really once internationally for work, which was an extraordinary thing for me. I got a little overexcited.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Look, I think...
And I missed business class because I held my breath until Warner said that they'd fund business class.
Oh, you missed the business class experience because you were chemically assisted.
Like an idiot. Like a rolled gold idiot.
I mean, the best thing about business class is that you kind of get to sleep, so that's kind of the point of it.
Yeah.
But
Scott Weiland's dead now. I'm not. Fuck you, Scott. No, actually, he was a very nice man. He was a very nice man. Mm-hmm. So you have you ever been fucked up on a plane?
Oh, yeah. So I used to always travel what I consider to be, like when I drank, I used to consider to be poor person's business class.
Yeah.
Which is to have a few drinks beforehand and then...
Do a boonie.
Oh, no, not drink too much on the plane, although I have done that in the past, obviously, because I'm an idiot. But have a couple of drinks beforehand and then if you have a doctor who is amenable to such things, to have like a Xanax or a Valium on the plane and then just kind of sleep all the way through.
If you have a doctor amenable to such things, why not email Beautiful Fairy Princess? But no, don't. I'm fully monitored.
But I think that's also the reason for the compression socks, because you are meant to move. Whereas if you do the poor person's business class, you don't move much. You just get on, fall asleep, wake up at your destination.
How do you fit into economy? You're 6'5". You've got quite long limbs.
Yeah, so it's difficult. Nowadays I always try and get an exit row or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant. On the last flight that I did on the way over, I sat in economy in a normal seat, and that was unpleasant. But it was an overnight one, so I just slept.
Yeah.
But
without poor person's business class.
without poor person's business class, so it was unpleasant.
Life here on Vanity Project. Really and truly, if you stare at the abyss long enough, you eventually do a podcast. This one's called Vanity Project. Hey, Bitsy, hit it!
They know it's business goose.
This segment, which I insist exists, has a very narrow focus, and I think that it's going to fail its way very shortly out of existence. Things that you've heard to be true, that you would like to be true, but, oh God, see, anything that takes that long to explain.
Yeah.
It's like a joke that you have to explain.
It's
a failure.
It's things that you've heard that might be true, but that you wish are true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like permission to continually delude oneself.
That's exactly it.
This is a dreadful segment.
That's a great segment.
Okay, so there's this thing that I heard. They say, look, you hear things and you're absolutely sure that they're false, right? So, for example, the Eskimos, questionable category for a start. Are you referring to Inuit peoples? Are you referring to all First Nation language groups, in which case what you say next have 57 words for snow? Are you talking about among language groups of the First Nations people of the territory? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's not 57 words for snow.
There might be. There's plenty of different words for water, or the way that we describe rain. The Scots have plenty of words for rain.
But you reckon it's 57?
Probably not.
57 is one of those numbers that you pull out of your ass.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's 57 different genders on Facebook now, for example.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what was the thing that you heard?
The thing that I heard.
Or the thing that you want to be true.
Yeah. That if you call your state government house, you don't have one in territories. If you call your government house,
Yeah.
you can request from the governor a framed portrait of the monarch's consort.
The monarch's consort.
The governor is obliged to give you a picture of, well, formerly the Queen of Australia, her Prince Philip. And if it's true, I hate myself for not getting a framed portrait of my hero and yours.
Prince Philip.
What a dick he was. What a turd. What a relic.
Yes. I know.
I'm going to be racist and find it wildly amusing.
Yeah. I know. I can't say that I didn't have a soft spot for Prince Philip.
I know. I mean, I would rather power be disgusting, like really show its fangs. No, truly. Why do you want the liberal daddy and mummy who strive to be reasonable? Power is in itself disgusting. The most disgusting thing about what's his name, who's the president in the US again, apparently, is not his poor taste or his tenuous grip on language or the way he defecates on The Office. I mean, I actually prefer the idea of America being represented more accurately.
Fair enough.
As it truly is, an incompetent and dying world power with inexplicable hair.
But, I mean, I think I'm with you. For example, I don't want the monarchy to be relatable. I think that's the worst possible thing.
Oh, it's bad for them too.
It's extremely bad for them. I liked, obviously, having grown up my entire life with Queen Elizabeth, by the grace of God, Her Majesty.
There's a little part of you that genuflects, isn't there?
Oh, a little bit.
I
Of
loved
course.
her.
Yeah.
I mean, not as much as I love the glorious Princess Anne,
But there was this idea that
Princess Royal.
that they were
Her Royal Highness.
that they were somehow completely different to us. Just
that was sublime.
yeah. And
Instructed from God directly.
and Prince Philip's whole thing was just somebody who went through his life without giving a fuck. Like, I don't care about anything. I will say what I want when I want, and that's just how I am.
Yeah.
And nobody can do anything about it.
Do you think he had big dick energy?
Yes, I
He
do.
did. Yeah, I think Liz was pleased.
Yeah, I think
He
had
walked around like a man with something in his trow.
Yeah, very much so. I think somehow constrained big dick energy. Like, I think
Oh, yeah.
that, he wished he could have put it about a little bit more or sauntered a little bit more, but
Yeah.
I think he knew.
Yeah.
He knew that he
Yeah,
had something,
BDE,
had
definitely.
it going on.
What the fuck are we talking about?
You're talking about things that you wish
No,
were true.
I
And so
know.
you
I
were-
know, but like, what the fuck are we talking about, Ross? Like, what the fuck?
At the moment, we're talking
But
about...
I mean, really, like, more broadly, what the fuck? The world is burning. There is just detritus left.
I can't do anything for
I
that
know.
right here.
I don't engage anymore. I can't. Because representations of the mess are far more heedless and arrogant than Prince Philip ever was. And as far as Nero, I wish this was true too, with this word true, Nero playing the violin as Rome, sinks in slime. And the serenade that we're playing to the end of Western Empire, because it's it, right? We're
Yeah.
fucked.
We're certainly circling the drain.
The only hope for the species is that a totalitarian power imposes restrictions, therefore avoiding climate change. It's not going to happen because we all fucking recycle. And you know where your recycling goes as well as I do. What is it, 9% of plastic? All the plastic in the world, it's 9% that has been meaningfully upcycled or recycled.
Well, a lot of it's apparently ending up in our bodies, so that's a kind of upcycling.
That's good.
Yeah, so we should actually be taking more of it into our bodies as a sense of personal responsibility.
But don't you see that as the only possible scenario? I mean, I refuse to engage with the idea of Mars and, causing a sort of like doing something malevolent, like blowing it up so the climate becomes tolerable there and whatnot. I mean, Elon can enjoy his Martian fantasies, but it's the only way. It's the only way to save the species is totalitarian control of emissions. But it is.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just thinking about how we got here from getting a portrait of Queen Camilla from Government House.
I fucking love her. Do you love her? I'm sorry about that. This is actually a worry-free zone. But maybe it's happened to you. And I know it's happened to Ross. It's like I do not fucking engage. I cannot engage. After years of fucking writing news, I can't. You know, you navigate it by, you know, it's like the only way you can I've started again, haven't I?
Mm-hmm. But have I told you what Erin and I do in the house? So we have a rule in the house, which is that we're only allowed to say one piece of bad news about the world to each other per day. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? And so we have to...
I have something similar in my house with Flatty.
Right.
Yeah. No trauma top-up, thank you.
That's a good way of putting it.
Any kind of traumatic personal story or news event, no.
Yeah, so we...
Don't make me explain labour relations to you again.
But, so we're allowed to do one per day, so we have to really make sure that we're getting the best one per day each, because you don't get a second one. You try and tell me something else bad's happened today. Sorry, I'm out.
Is it ever Kashmir or anything like that?
It's been Myanmar in recent times.
I don't even want to know. Well, that's good. Has it been working well?
It's been working quite well, and it's meant that we end up just texting each other weird shit instead of traumatic shit.
Yeah.
It's been very, very good.
Yeah.
Did you ever ask Government House for your portrait?
No. I don't know if it's true. I'm not going to find out.
Well, I have written to, because I had heard the same thing about getting a portrait of the monarch.
From your Federal Division member.
That's right.
Who is, in your case, Jed Kearney.
Is Jed. And I've written 3 letters to Jed asking for portraits of the monarch, 2 for Queen Elizabeth and now 1 of the King, and have received not even a response.
Fuck you, Jed.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's untrue.
Yeah.
But I bet if I lived in a blue division, it would work.
Yeah.
I bet Barnaby would send me one.
Yeah. Oh, I just want some more portraits of the royals.
Yeah.
Not this new generation, not this William business.
No.
And his basic bitch of a future queen. It looks like she's been entirely encased in pantyhose. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
Some women just give off this pantyhose vibe.
Oh, okay.
They're just entirely encased in smooth nylon. Please try and get one of. I'm gonna try and get one of Camilla. Let's do it. Let's find out if this is not true, or let's say it with such conviction that it becomes true.
Yep, I will send a letter to who is the Victorian governor?
Fuck, who cares?
Yeah, well, whoever it is.
I genuinely don't know the name of the Prime Minister. That's how seriously I take my engagement.
Yeah, I'm sure if I just said something to the plenipotentiary of the monarch, care of Government House, please give me a portrait.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. It's just so hard to be a Republican. I mean, what the fuck? I'm not a fan of republics. It's another liberal democracy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tremendously ambivalent about that question.
Yeah.
So, whatever. I see why people get angry about it, but it's not something that I ain't going to spend any time on it, because, every 3 to 4 months somebody gets torn apart by a crocodile in North Queensland.
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck about religions and cults either. I mean, obviously, if they're kiddie fiddling, they've got to have their dirty fingers chopped off.
Yeah.
And be banished. Because that's, what you do. That's what a reasonable society would do. Oh,
no prisons, just a whole bunch of very, very bad corporal punishments.
Here on Vanity Project, you're joined by a fucking thin thread to sanity. Russell Colossal and me, beautiful fairy princess. Why not email us? And why not listen to some cultural critique? Take it away, Bitsy!
Shit. All of these new things are shit. Shit show in Egypt, know it. Their taste's impeccable. Always believe them.
Okay, so we referenced Mobland earlier.
Yes, I'm a massive fan of Mobland. It's got a bit of violence, which I like. I like a bit of violence. You know that I like Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Because he just mumbles. All he does is mumble. So he mumbles his way through it with aplomb. And then it's got a couple of other great actors just doing nothing but chewing at the scenery the entire time.
Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren as the mama and papa in their decrepitude are fucking brilliant.
Yes, they are tremendous. And
still, like, entirely fuckable, those two. You know the thing that people do? They say, "Oh, look at Pierce Brosnan, who, like his absolutely insane predecessor, Sean Connery, continues his handsomeness in old age." It's
probably improves his handsomeness.
Yeah,
in old age.
I think some of us are deluded that we too will, at some stage, shoot up like Helen Mirren, have that ample and still perky bosom, but it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Oh, see, older people, it's like, bigger ladies can be attractive. Of course they fucking can, duh.
Yeah.
Like, look at Christina Hendricks. Yeah, I fucking do.
Yep.
She's like a beautiful ship.
That's precisely what Erin said to me when Mad Men came out. We were talking about her, and she said, she's like the first time you ever see an aircraft carrier. It's just like something you are not prepared for.
No.
In any way, but are able to admire and just go, oh, that might be too much for me.
Yeah, no. There's something of the divine, or at least of the sublime or celestial, about Christina Hendricks. Like, she is ineffably beautiful, and just because I'm moving toward an inclusive sizing phase due to med changes,
yes,
and cramming my face with sugar, I'm not going to suddenly look like Christina Hendricks.
Well, the jury's still out. Keep working at it.
Thanks. But she's like that fucking face.
But Helen Mirren.
Mirren.
Mobland.
Lloyd says he's still doing it. I'm at Lloyd.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Lloydie. He
Mobland.
said especially as the Queen, especially when she's in the Queen drag. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, go.
So you've been enjoying Mobland?
Yeah. I mean, that bit where the blood's all over Serafina, my fuck.
Yeah, so that was quite a lot. I didn't think they were going to go there. I did enjoy watching that with the subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, because they describe all the sounds.
Yeah.
And there was just a thing that just said wet crunch. And I was like,
you should try the audio description.
I will do that.
I'm a big fan of them. I mean, I'm hard of seeing.
Yes.
Yeah, some of them are really quite funny.
I will,
especially when they do the sex scenes.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it's hilarious, and it's often AI. A completely dispassionate take on. He takes his hand and places it on her right buttock, and inserts his fingers, two of his fingers. It's very funny.
Oh,
yeah.
Goodness.
It's very funny.
So you've been enjoying Mobland?
Yes, and I was quite surprised because showrunner Guy Ritchie,
Guy Ritchie, that's right.
I never really took to him, but there was something about having a cold that makes me crave violence.
Oh, okay. So have you watched Kin?
No.
You should watch Kin. It's pretty much like Mobland without as many establishing drone shots.
One of the things about Ross that I love is, despite the fact that he's a busy young professional, he still makes time for the priorities, i.e. quality streaming.
A lot of streaming.
Fuck, I watch a lot of telly.
Yeah.
Fucking love it. It's a golden age, mate. And it's fucking great. There has never been television like this. It's a wonderful time to be alive. It's a wonderful time to be watching fiction.
It is. There's some amazing things on television.
Murderbot! It's fucking awesome! How good is Murder Sarsgaard? What a legend!
Yeah, he's perfect for that role, right? Because he already seems like a robot because of his accent and because of the way that he speaks English naturally, because it's not his first language. He's perfect at it.
Even the Sex and the City reboot wasn't complete and utter garbage. The quality of television is unutterably high.
Well, the thing is, I didn't watch that much television, in the past because I was out drinking. So I've got more time to watch television now.
Yeah, but there's much more television to watch.
There is.
I perform a voluntary service for those who inquire. I curate television for individuals.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. And I'm pretty much spot on with it. You're on Vanity Project. Mobland's not bad.
Mobland is good.
I think Guy Ritchie's had some help. I never found his character arcs that compelling.
I think he's been very good lately. I think he's been good since, was it called The Covenant?
The one where Hugh Grant did the very bad Mockney.
Oh, no, that's The Gentleman.
I didn't like that.
Oh, I think that was good. The TV show especially was good. There was a show and a series.
They made Hugh Grant, they did the impossible. They made Hugh Grant look unfuckable. I fucking
he's-
love that guy.
He's been doing that a lot for himself lately. There was the horror film that he was in recently.
Yeah. I actually, high school boyfriend and I went to see that at the cinema.
Really?
Yeah, both being Hugh Grant fans. I mean, I've loved him since Divine Brown.
Well, that was the moment that he became human, right?
It was the moment that he did Letterman and was just kind of like adorable in his filth.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a fool for a filthy man. Have you? Why not MLB? I don't know. Okay, so yeah, MobLand, not bad. Yeah, and Guy Ritchie. Well, I mean, I guess he's recovering from. He's still Madge recovery must take some time.
Oh yeah, that's got to be a very, very long one. I'm sure there's a group. I mean, I'm sure that he gets together in a group maybe once a month with him,
Lord S's dad,
Vanilla Ice,
Rosie, Sandra Bernhardt.
Sandra Bernhardt. So they all get together and
Sandra.
they do a group maybe once a month or something like that and talk about it.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Dennis Rodman. Did you say that?
I did not know.
Fucking love Dennis Rodman.
Dennis.
Telly's really good, isn't it?
Telly's fantastic. What do we got? What do we got next?
And it's just not. I think it would be reckless to continue.
Okay.
Not because I have nothing to contribute. I just have rubbish. I thought actually, and I know Ross and I became friends around about the time we were first contact with that atheism was very big and reason
Regrettably.
was very big. And, like I don't happen to believe in a founding principle or final authority or anything of a spiritual nature. Mm-hmm. I believe in the power of human history, the Great Human History Project, and that's about it, really. But so there's this idea that religion opposes reason, which it doesn't really.
Not really.
No.
Kind of non-overlapping magisteria is what it was once called.
I mean, there are those, things that occur in schools where apparently creationism is taught. I don't know if this actually occurs in Australia.
I mean, it kind of.
It'd be a hard sell.
They were both taught at my school, certainly in high school.
Creationism was taught.
Simultaneously. So we had.
But was it taught as part of religious education?
It was taught as part of religious education.
Yeah, so it wasn't taught as a science.
No, but we had religious education classes twice a week, and we had science like twice a week.
Yeah.
It was given reasonably equal airtime.
I'm presuming you were given the option of not thinking of it as literal, but metaphoric, figurative somehow?
Yes, I was also.
Or do they tell private school boys?
Well, this is quite
she
some
was
time ago.
made from your rib.
There was a
Woman, woe man.
Yeah, there was a bit of that. I was also given the option of being very quiet and not being disruptive during those classes.
But it's just like I'm relatively untroubled by faith. Faith can be a good thing for people.
A
sense of community can be a good thing for people. I took
Yeah.
a bloke called Wade to church the other day.
Yeah.
He was in a transformational ministry. Wade didn't have a lot of money. I met him in the city.
Yep.
And the money he did have, he tithed.
Oh.
Like he was in emergency housing and what have you.
Yeah.
And what with it, this is like, and he was, anyway, look, we'll talk about Wade at another time.
Let's do that.
Helen Razor talks to the homeless here on Vanity Project. There's a lot of it about.
There is a lot of it about.
Try not to look at the world. So anyway, there's this idea that reason and faith are opposed. There's this idea that lives on in the, what do you call it, the manosphere?
The manosphere?
The manosphere,
Like the Andrew Tate world?
Yeah, I mean, really, I've cut myself off. I don't know what goes on, but there's that appearance of reason, like scientistic reason that happened with Jordan Peterson. Like you repeat things often enough and just sort of do a scientistic or a science-esque kind of infomercial.
Yeah.
The appearance of reason. There's this idea of pure reason, that reason has applications all over the shop.
Yes.
I mean, and of course reason is fine and it absolutely has its place, but its place is limited, right?
Well,
I'm making no sense. You talk. It's just like reason. There's this idea that reason will win the day.
Well, reason almost never wins the day. Most of the time what wins is emotion or the reinforcement of what people already think they know or understand.
Yeah.
You can almost never reason somebody out of a position that they didn't reason themselves into.
Yeah.
When people have taken things, on faith or learned something on rote, then it's impossible to reason people out of it. And it's almost counterproductive because it just tends to become an argument.
Yeah.
How can you reason somebody out of belief? It's foolish. You can't, because nobody reasoned themselves into it.
And I mean, the process of actually designating something as true, like true beyond the truth of it being factually correct, is quite exhaustive. And if you have an opponent, like with climate change, like my parents they're on something about trees.
Okay.
The trees and the carbon dioxide.
Yep. What are the trees doing, good or bad?
The trees exhale a lot, apparently, and we've got nothing to worry about because of plants.
Oh, okay.
You heard that one?
Yep.
Yeah. Some bloke in Townsville, apparently, that my father's been in direct contact with.
So the trees are making enough.
Carbon emissions are good for the trees. That's
Yes.
how it goes. Carbon emissions are good for the trees. Like it is. And I made the mistake of taking them seriously.
Oh.
And applying reason
Yeah.
to their argument, like respecting it.
Yep.
Like a fucking idiot.
Oh, that way.
And I'm saying, well, look, I don't really know. I'm not a scientist either. But what about deforestation? Oh, Helen, that's just like you love to argue.
Yes.
You love to. Oh, you've got an answer for everything, haven't you? Oh, Helen. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Helen, the left. That's typical of the left. Oh, that's a weasel word. Straw man. You know what I mean. I'm not talking about my situation specifically.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know that absolutely. I mean,
It's exhausting.
this is pretty much typical family conversation, right? When somebody brings something up and you go, huh, is that a fact? Where did you find that out?
So you're a
okay.
fuckwit like that too.
Oh,
Like,
well, not anymore. No.
No, I mean, like, as you know, I can fall into a forlorn ditch of innocence. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I wake up every morning optimistic, certain that this will be the day that I make.
That you change minds.
Yes, change hearts and minds. Anyway, So when somebody says something like that, apparently I'm on the spectrum. The only reason that I know this is that I took the test. But there is that naivety that, and I have seen you fall into it before, where you actually take people seriously. They make a proposition, and without thinking, you think about it,
I fall for the trap. Yes.
Yeah, without thinking, you apply thought to a proposition.
Yeah, that doesn't work. That really doesn't work outside of university tutorials.
No. It's like you're actually just supposed to agree with them.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't improve anybody's day and gets nobody anywhere. Not at the interpersonal level.
Yeah, so it's more like a clubhouse word, or like what they do in job interviews, ask you nonsensical questions just to see if you'll comply with the nonsense of answering.
Yes.
Like that question, like, what do you consider your biggest fault? What are you supposed to say, Ross?
What's my biggest fault?
Yeah.
I tell the truth too much.
No, in job interviews.
Well, but that's it.
Yeah, I know, but you're supposed to say I'm a perfectionist or I take work too seriously.
Yes, precisely.
But you're not actually saying that. What you're saying is I comply with this charade. I am one of you.
That's right.
And, and I forget.
You just need to work out a couple of like weird facial expressions and noises to make it. And be non-committal, and then just go on with your day.
Yeah, but I just I hear those things. It's like it's like dib dib dib, dob dob dob.
Yes,
that's what the scouts said to each other. Were you a scout?
Of course I was.
Which badges did you get?
Oh, it's been so long I don't remember, but probably all the easy ones. I was in Sea Scouts, so we had different badges.
Sea Scouts.
I was in Sea Scouts, so we had lots of knots and lots of sailing stuff and some navigation stuff. All wet things.
Yeah. I was a brownie guide.
Were you?
Yeah, it lasted 3 weeks. I fucked up my oath too. It's supposed to be a brownie thinks of others before herself. Mm-hmm. Guess what I said? A brownie thinks of herself before others, which was the topic of great hilarity in the household. To this day, I didn't come at brownies, not at all. Brown Owl used to pull up our dresses to see if we all had brown underpants on.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
All right.
Can you imagine? And I just said, and thank you, Mum, for turning me into a bolshy turd. Because I just said, you are not looking at my underpants. Teach your children to say that. You are not looking at my underpants. If you think that, you've got another thing coming. I channeled my mother for the first time in my life. It's proved useful many times. Can you believe that?
Yes, at the time, absolutely. I
And
can.
Aunt Carla, she was in on it too.
Yeah.
Like Aunt Carla and Brad. Did you have any scoutmasters like that?
It's not a conversation topic that I'm going to broach.
Okay. All right. I'm so sorry. Are we still friends?
Yes.
Look, I'm really sorry, Ross, just for everything. I made the mistake of having an espresso pod before this podcast when I should have had Do Coffee. Thank you to Do Coffee for bringing you a 3-year-long podcast on the dilapidated ruins of Western civilization, our fondness for the late Prince Philip. Mm-hmm. May he be blessed.
And Helen Mirren.
And Helen Mirren. And Guy Ritchie. Apparently we like Guy Ritchie, but not Madonna. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hold my hand. I'm a stranger in paradise. This has been Vanity Project. You have no one to blame but yourself.